You know what's interesting about being human? We like to think that we're in control of our decisions, that our choices are the product of rational thought and deliberate planning. But it turns out that's not entirely true. In fact, according to research, we're wrong. Our conscious mind is actually the one making the plan, but it's our subconscious that's calling the shots. And sometimes our subconscious does so by pulling the wool over our eyes. Welcome to the dark side of decision-making. In today's video, we're going to be looking at some research that suggests that our subconscious minds are capable of fooling us into making irrational decisions. But before we get started, I would appreciate it if you could leave a like rating on this video. And if you're new here, then consider subscribing. Anyway, let's begin. So there's this idea in psychology known as controlled versus automatic processing. Controlled processing refers to the kind of thinking that we usually associate with making decisions. It's deliberate, conscious, and rational. Automatic processing, on the other hand, is more like it sounds. It's unconscious, habitual, and not under our direct control. Most of our everyday decisions are actually made through automatic processing, which frees up our conscious mind to focus on other things. Like when you drive a car, you don't have to consciously think about pressing the gas pedal or turning the steering wheel. Your subconscious takes care of all that. You can enjoy the ride without having to worry about the mechanics of driving. That is, because your brain has converted the task of driving into an automatic process through repetition and practice. But there are times when our automatic decision-making can lead us astray. For example, in a study published in the journal Psychological Science, researchers found that people were more likely to agree to meet someone for a drink after work if they were already in an automatic state of mind. In other words, if they were tired, hungry, or distracted, basically when they weren't paying full attention. Now this isn't necessarily a bad thing. After all, we can't be in a state of constant, intense focus all the time. But it does show that our subconscious can influence our decisions, even when we think we're being rational. In another study, researchers had participants make a series of decisions under conditions that either promoted automatic or controlled processing. They found that people who made their decisions in an automatic state of mind were more likely to regret their choices later on. So what does this mean for us? Well, it means that we need to be aware of the limitations of our rational mind and the potential biases of our subconscious. Just because we think we're being rational and making the best decision possible at the time doesn't mean that we are. Sometimes our subconscious is pulling the strings, and we're none the wiser. It also means that we need to take steps to mitigate the negative effects of our subconscious bias. This can be difficult, but it's important because as psychologist Daniel Gilbert has said, the mind is not a friend to itself. That might sound a bit odd, so let me explain. Our mind plays tricks on us all the time. It convinces us that we're not good enough, or that we don't deserve to be happy. It makes us overthink things, and it causes us to second-guess ourselves. But the truth is that these are just the tricks of an overactive and biased subconscious mind. So how do we deal with it? One way is to become more aware of our own thought patterns and the biases that might be influencing our decisions. Another way is to seek out feedback from others. When we're in the thick of things, it can be hard to see the forest for the trees. But someone else might be able to look at our situation more objectively and help us to see things in a new light. Ultimately, though it's up to each of us to decide how much weight to give our subconscious, there's no right answer. It's a balancing act that we all have to perform for ourselves. But by understanding the nature of our subconscious and the biases that it can create, we can make better decisions and live better lives. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, rating, and subscribe. And if you have any feedback or suggestions for future videos, then feel free to comment down below. I'll see you next time.